The Dark Souls trilogy is no stranger to tragic stories, be it Gwyn's desperate bid for survival, unable to accept his age has run its course, or Solaire's doomed quest to locate his own son, a mission that saps him of his joy and possibly his life. While steeped in tragedy, I don't see either story as the trilogy's most heartbreaking nor realistic. I believe that title belongs to Greirat of the Undead Settlement. Greirat is no powerful king nor mighty warrior, he's a humble thief originating from the dregs of Lothric, the Undead Settlement. His home has seemingly always been one steeped in misery and despair, even before Lothric's stagnation. Evidence in game shows us that this town was a dumping ground for those afflicted with the undead curse, a prison to ensure the undead do not wander into lands of higher nobility. Despite these lowly origins, Greirat grew beyond the settlement and established himself as a prolific thief, staving off the undead curse and building a reputation for his heists. Despite his supposed success as a thief, you'll find Greirat within Lothric's high wall, locked within a cell without any hope of escape. If the player wishes, they can free him from his capture and speak with the man, being introduced to the character for the first time.
Ah. You're no jailer, are you? No, you're from far away. And judging by the bell, you must be some of that unkindled ash. Remarkable. If that's true, then I have a favor to ask. Below the high wall is a musty little town, not the home of any lord, just a very old settlement of undead. An old woman, Loretta, lives there. Please, give her this ring. I'm not asking for charity. In fact, if you do this for me, I'll be sure to repay you in kind. I may be a petty thief, but I've more wits than most royalty. What do you say then, huh? Very well. I humbly place my faith in you. I am Greirat of the Undead Settlement, and I promise to assist you. Give this ring to old Loretta at the base of the high wall. Do your part, and I'll do mine.
Despite his circumstances, he'll exude a calm and pleasant demeanour, greeting the player and immediately asking for a favour. His words are not out of greed or selfishness. Instead, he asks the player to find Loretta and bring a ring to her, an old woman residing within the undead settlement. By his initial dialogue, it's clear that he holds some love for the woman, offering his services in exchange for a simple act. While Greirat never explicitly says who Loretta is, his dialogue when killed may shine some light on the matter.
Oh, forgive me, Mother.
This line of dialogue only appears once throughout Greirat's story, before he is sent to Firelink Shrine. From this tragic line, we can infer that the woman he once found is in fact his own mother, likely the last member of his family who still lives. With the continuation of his questline, this revelation only becomes more heart-wrenching. Upon venturing to the undead settlement and looking inside one of the many buildings, you may find a hanging corpse, wrapped in cloth and glowing with the visual of an item. Cut down the body and you'll learn the fate of Greirat's mother. A single bone can be found from the corpse, dubbed Loretta's bone within the game. Its item description reads, "Old discolored human bone with several holes bored into it. A woman's corpse in the undead settlement was found clutching this bone. Her name was Loretta." While we are unable to identify her exact cause of death, I believe it came at the hands of the mob assembled nearby. Likely ritualistic murder, a fate many inhabitants of the settlement shared. Giving the bone to Greirat, and we are greeted with this dialogue.
Heavens, she was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised, though. Almost a relief, really. You can keep the ring as, well, a little trinket of thanks, I suppose.
Despite this tragic news, Greirat does not wallow in his sadness, nor does he show any inkling of wanting the player's remorse. Instead, he assures you that it was no surprise that she met such a fate. He even allows you to keep the ring he wished Loretta to have, only more evidence of the thief's kind-hearted nature. This second encounter is a stark contrast to the kind demeanour established in our first meeting with Greirat. His jovial nature has now replaced the melancholy, demonstrating to the player how much Loretta meant to him. This nuanced and excellently written encounter is why I love Greirat's character so much. His response to such a tragic event isn't written verbosely. Instead, it is subtle in its approach and emulates a real response to trauma. While likely hiding much of his true emotions, he is paralysed by the idea of Loretta's death and merely assures the player and himself that it comes as no surprise to him. This realism only helps to exemplify Greirat's humanity and establishes the parallels of his undead origins. If we return to Greirat after Loretta's bone has been given, he'll share some new dialogue.
Ah, there you are. I was thinking. You know I'm a petty thief. Well, perhaps I'll go on the prowl. Everyone's dead or hollowed away anyway, right? So I might as well fetch some weapons or treasure for you. Well, what do you say? Thank you. You will not be disappointed. Greirat the Thief was once a well-known name. Until I ended up rotting in a cell.
At a first glance, this may seem like Greirat has recovered from the news of Loretta's death, returning to his jovial demeanour that was established from in the first encounter. However, his proposal for looting his old home is not one born of happiness, instead, desperation. He presents the idea as a way to
I wouldn't want to lose my touch.
a simple facade that masks a much darker truth. Greirat understands the risk of his thievery. The last time he attempted it caused his capture, and with the news of Loretta, he's sure to know of the religious zealots that now wander his home. Still, he offers his services, all in the name of repaying a debt that was never fulfilled. It's easy to draw a parallel to becoming hollow, a fate that awaits all undead once their purpose is lost. Perhaps Greirat fears it will claim him, ridding him of his humanity and turning him into the same people who slaughtered his mother. While it holds some merit, I believe his newfound quest is one grounded in far more realism. Loss isn't something that can be described in words. It's a fundamental feeling that encapsulates your body. It's a fatigue that controls your mind and may cloud everything you once held dear. A loss of purpose is a facet that many experience, a questioning of why life must continue if someone they adored cannot be there with them. This is what I believe has overcome Greirat. The thing that brought him his fame, the talent he once prided himself in, his very own name, is now no more than a vessel to deliver his own death. With his mother and sole purpose gone, his death is no longer a possibility, but a certainty. This is only further proven by his dialogue upon his request to plunder Irithyll.
Oh, hello. Fine work, I say. Discovering Irithyll in the Boreal Valley, all in a day's work. If the tales are true, it is home to old moon-worshipping nobles, and should be packed with treasure. What do you think? Shall I go and see what I can find? A fine choice. I am Greirat the Thief. What I bring back will be worthy of that name.
He tries to entice the player with images of riches and loot, almost begging the player to allow him to enact his sole purpose. Denying him, and he'll say this.
All right, fine and well. If that is your wish, I can only obey. But feel free to change your mind later. I hate to leave a city of nobles ripe for the picking.
He maintains your wish, but further embeds the visuals of gold and riches within your mind, enticing you to send him off once again. It's a tragic twist of fate, displaying he wishes for nothing more than to continue his journey and put himself in harm's way once more, risking the ire of the horrors of Irithyll. All the while, he still maintains a jolly facade, not wishing to pull the player into his world despite all Greirat does for them. This barrier between the player and the thief's true feelings is what I believe makes him so human. Despite drowning in an ocean of grief, he never asks to be helped, instead maintaining an image of himself that he no longer feels, all to ensure the player does not feel as he does. This facade only begins to falter in his fourth and final encounter.
You know, I was thinking about leaving for another round of thieving. There must be something of use in Lothric Castle. I'm aware of the danger. That castle is a death trap. Not a single man has returned from the castle unscathed, even back in the day. But I don't want to sit around and die a petty rat. And I consider myself your friend. Thank you for placing your trust in me. Don't you worry. I know Lothric like the back of my hand. Goodbye. I will leave for some time. So long for now. Do stay safe, you hear? Or my efforts will have been for naught.
In this encounter, he does not attempt to hide the danger with illusions of treasure and riches. Instead, he acknowledges the death it will bring. Accepting his fate, he tells the player he considers them a friend, likely a final omission and a thank you for the singular purpose they have brought him. This is the only time Greirat will share his true feelings with the player, and it so happens to be his last. Perhaps the ocean of grief becoming too much for him, or knowledge of his impending death, it's hard to say. Sending Greirat on this quest and Hosei a final assurance, likely an attempt at returning to the man you first met, now someone you do not recognise. Analysing these final words, and you see they are no more than a false promise, a fact he disproved mere moments ago. With this goodbye is the last time you'll hear the thief's voice, and brings forth the death he so wanted. With Greirat's body being found within Lothric's castle, you're greeted with a final reminder who the thief was. Greirat was a thief who fancied himself a martyr for the poor, which is what drove him to climb the wall. Once a purpose for life, now turned into one of death.